Hey guys, SoCal Val here. You are listening to the Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast.
Welcome everybody back to the Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast. Yes, it's me. I'm still here. I'm still with you, and I'm now back hosting the show. So you can't get rid of me that easily. But thank you for your well wishes and much appreciated. But I'm back on my feet and I'm back doing these podcasts properly. And of course, today we've got a lot of stuff to get through. We are talking NWA 75. It was a 2-night extravaganza. People may have been missed it because of All In. There's been a lot of wrestling going on this weekend, but of course, me not being attending All In managed to watch NWA 75. So I managed to get my wrestling fix. Yes, I did watch All In as well, but we've already done that review show. Of course, this is NWA, and of course that means I have my NWA goddess and a certain celebrity after Sunday All In, from what I hear. Fiona Lochran. Fiona, how are you?
I'm good. I'm so glad you're back. I feel like I've not spoken to you for ages. You were greatly missed at Wembley on Sunday, so it's nice to see you. It's good to see you looking fit and healthy, and it's good to have you here to talk NWA with because I'm very excited. It's been a fun couple of days.
It has been a fun couple of days. Fiona was doing some work for Hooked on Wrestling.
I was at the pre-party at Box Park on Sunday, so that was fun.
And a lot of wrestlers come and said hello. I had a video call with with a British wrestler called Robbie X. Couldn't hear each other, but we got the gist of what he was trying to say, and he's coming on the podcast. Actually, we're just getting dates sorted, so he'll be coming on. But a lot of other guys said hello, said there were wishes, and you were the celebrity apparently, according to Rachel. Anyway, you're the celebrity of the show.
Wrestling's a small community in the UK. We all know each other.
Exactly. But no, you are a celebrity and you are my NWA goddess, and I can't do this without you. So let's move on. I mean, there were stacks of matches on this show. So an FYI to everyone, we're not going to go run through the pre-show. Fiona hasn't really watched it all, obviously busy. I've watched the majority of the pre-shows, but we're just going to run through those results.
I've literally got the results and that's it, pretty much.
Exactly that. So we are going to just quickly run through night one's pre-show. Robert Anthony defeated Magic Jake Dumas by pinfall. You may have noticed, I think Robert Anthony had Magic's face on his tights or something. He was doing a lot of a Rick Rude kind of impersonation on that. Daisy Kill and Talos defeated the Fixers in the final. So they went across to take on the Country Gentlemen. For the NWA United States Tag Champions on the show. I think it was night 2. Zion defeated Jordan Clearwater by submission. And finally on night 1, the final match of the pre-show was Jake Cartwheel. He defeated Alex Taylor, Eric Jackson, Kaio Lexmana, and Matt Vine for in a Jubilee Jamboree match. I think I've got that right. For the NWA Junior Heavyweight Championship. I don't quite know all the rules. I've never seen one. I didn't see that match.
New one for me too.
No, I couldn't see it. New one for Fee. If it's a new for Fee, it's definitely new. So the first match on night 1, Maxie Impaler defeated Kenzie Page for the women's NWA Women's
TV Championship.
That's the one, TV Championship. So a title change to start off the show.
Straight off the bat.
No messing around.
No, none at all.
There is a prologue to why that happened later on, but we won't get to that yet, I don't think, until night 2, for that matter. But straight off the bat.
Yeah, I'll tell you something. That Kenzie is a feisty wee one.
She is a feisty little.
I love her. I think she's brilliant, and I really thought it was going to be a bit of a squash match. Max, you never know what they're going to come out and do. You never know how full on Max is going to come out when they come out to do their thing. I know that there's quite a big size difference. Kenzie's quite small and petite. Yeah. Max is tall and a little bit larger, and Max is so powerful, so powerful that they kind of ragdolled Kenzie about a little bit, and I was feeding for Kenzie at one point. But wonders will never cease.
Wonders will never cease. And yes, she did. And she does it was a clothesline, wasn't it? To win that, which is quite a weird one because clotheslines don't normally win matches. I mean,
they don't. But Kenzie took it to her.
she hated
Kenzie
it.
absolutely took it to Max. Kenzie's had that belt for, I think, was it they said 131 days. Kenzie had that belt for. But I think Max was just too powerful an opponent for Kenzie at the end of the day.
It was indeed. And congratulations to Max the Impaler.
Absolutely.
Who's going to stop Max? Who knows?
Who knows indeed.
I think that match 1 of night 1 set the bar for what we were going to be going through for the next 2 nights, or the next 2 nights in this case, because it's changed the face of the women's division. Let's just say that, and that's not just with that particular match. The next match, it was for the vacant, obviously NWA National Heavyweight Championship, because the EC3 dropped that to get the main title show against Tyrus at the ballroom match, which is night 2. This match was Thrillbilly Silas Mason, Odison, and JR Kratos. Now, the main point about this match was the fact that Thrillbilly absolutely drove Pollo in that match.
Poor Pollo, honestly, thrill ride for Pollo. Pollo's gone. I think what Velvet said is absolutely right. I think it's safe to say that Silas and Pollo are now no longer together. Silas is a unit. I love Silas. I love Thrillbilly. In fact, I love all 3 opponents in that match for different reasons. Kratos has really, really grown on me over the last kind of year or so. And I always liked the whole kind of Odinson Thor gimmick. He's got such a good look, and he's a great wrestler. But Thrillbilly is, for me, a traditional NWA wrestler. He's old school. He reminds me of the 60s and 70s sort of era. So I love Thrillbilly. I do not love what he did to poor Pollo.
No,
man, honestly. Not okay, Silas. Bad Silas.
Very bad Silas. However, he did hit another thrill ride later on Odison. Yeah. And he is now the new NWA United States again. Sorry, I'm getting
National Heavyweight Championship.
National Heavyweight Champion. That's it. He's now the new champion. He went over and kissed his mum at ringside, so he was showing his mummy's boy side of him. It's okay to hit a thrill ride on Hoyo and then kiss his mum afterwards. So, unbelievable. We will see where that goes. Obviously, we don't know the deal. They're tapings this week. Are they taping?
Yesterday and today. So Monday, Tuesday tapings. And obviously the first news episode of Power airs. It'll be Wednesday when this goes out. So by the time you're actually watching this
is going out tonight.
It's going out tonight. Oh, well, in that case, Power airs, the new season of Power airs tonight at 11 p.m. our time. So that's exciting.
Wow, we've got to go review that as well.
Yeah,
busy times. The new edition of Power airs tonight at 11:05 American, 11:05 our time, 6:05.
Yep.
American time. I will get those time differences right. The next one was Homicide against Joe Alonzo.
The hype for this match, honestly, had me so excited. Joe Alonzo's social media game was so strong in the run up to this. So strong, honestly. If you haven't seen any of his promos in the run up to NWA 75, please go on his social media, go on his Twitter, go and look at them. They are gold. But the boy has a death wish.
He did. He certainly was having a death wish on the lead up to 75, talking smack about Homicide.
Who does that? Who does that?
Well, exactly. You said the word death wish. So Homicide did have a nice little tribute to Terry Funk, who unfortunately passed away. We forget these things.
Those kind of sounds of things. Yeah.
Terry Funk and Wyndham Rotunda Bray Wyatt passed away. We did do a little video, not a video, but we did do our remembering pieces on one of the other shows that we done. Obviously, sad time in wrestling that week. It was a pretty bad week in a lot of ways, and the Wyndham Rotunda the Bray Wyatt one hit home very hard for me because of the issues that he had were very similar to the issues that I had. So, but we won't get into that. We will get into Homicide's match. Really good match, actually. Homicide is still so good. For so long. But on this one, he was going for the cop killer. There was a load of reversals. Alonso was pretty sort of out of it before I think he hit a power driver on Alonso before he was going to hit the cocula. But he ended up getting to his senses and rolling him Homicide up for a very shock win.
Sneaky little hold of the tights there.
Yeah.
So I don't think we've seen the end of that.
Well, no, I don't think so either. And if Homicide's got anything to say with it, I don't think we'll ever hear. But Homicide did take the shirt off and lay it in the center of the ring, again in memory of Terry Funk. So
yeah, that was very sweet. It was a nice touch.
It was. And then I've now got on my paper, and now for something completely different. Which brings me to the next match, which was the Brothers of Funkstruction. Garbo, Ruffo, and Violent J against Magnum Muscle. Hence why I said now for something completely different. Violent
J, Brothers of Construction. I said this before, right? I wasn't too sure about them at first. They've totally grown on me. How do you wrestle in clown shoes? How?
We may need to get them on the pod and find out. I think we need to do some investigative work to see if we can do a circus.
And I still struggle to tell them apart, but I've written a little note on my notes saying that Yabo was in the stripes and Ruffle had the darker face makeup. So there you go.
Journalism 101. I didn't write anything like that down, so hey, maybe we should you can host this fee. I'll just be the assistant.
No, I thought it was a really fun match actually. Yes, I like watching the Brothers of Construction go at it. But I have literally my notes are, how can they wrestle in those shoes? Balloons, really? Why? They're clowns, obviously. But ultimately, they did the whoop driver on Mims and got the pin for the win. So Brothers of Construction beat Magnum Muscle, which is Draper and Mims. But yeah, that was a fun match. I did enjoy it. And it was good to see Violent J there as well.
It was Violent J. I haven't seen him in a while. The Insane Clown Posse, WCW and WWE, I think. In his run.
Did he do Impact as well at one point? I can't remember.
They've been everywhere.
I'm not sure.
We'll have to do the work on that. You're probably right though. They probably did. But yes, the Clowns win, and they gotta be now. Sure, we'll get into the tag stuff because a lot of things have happened in the tag team division.
Yeah.
We'll touch on that. Surely these guys are due a shot now.
You would think. Well, that's it. They've had multiple wins against La Rebellion. They've had, in fact, they're just going through. They're running through the tag team division, to be honest with you. So I guess it could be an interesting season of power for the tag team division.
It could well be. Maybe they've already had their shot. We don't know.
Who knows?
We don't know. We'll find out later on tonight. There was Carl Davis was on the ramp with Tom Latimer.
Yeah.
Getting attacked by Chris Adonis. Basically, he said Adonis should remember that it's strictly business, and he'll put his NWA television title on the line on night 2 of so another great match to have on the second. Adonis and Latimer, two of the greats.
I love the two of them, yeah. So we'll get to that one though.
We will. Now, speaking of championships, the next match was the NWA World Junior Heavyweight Championship, which
another one I was really looking forward to because Kerry's just getting on my back.
Kerry Morton versus Kobe Carino. This was the longest match of the night so far. What a great match this was.
It was so good. If you see Kobe and Kerry, you know that they're going to have a good match. You absolutely know. I am still buzzing that Kobe's back in NWA as a singles wrestler. I really like him. I enjoy watching him work. Kerry's super talented. They're both super talented. Just that for me, Kerry's ego is just a little bit too much for me.
Yes, he's very much. They say the song's sexy and you know it, but Kerry's more good and you know it. And I think that's the Kerry Morton. That's the arrogant side of Kerry Morton coming out. However, arrogance didn't work on this one.
It did not, and it was a pretty even match the whole way through as well. There was quite a lot of back and forth, and it wasn't really a match where you're like, oh, he's definitely got this or he's definitely got it. It was like, oh, this could go either way. So it was a pretty even match the whole way through
until Kobe hits the avalanche Finley roll, picks up the 1, 2, 3. He's now the new NWA Junior Heavyweight Champion. So congratulations to Kobe. One of these days, I'll get him on the pod and I'll tell him his dad's story that I have of his was escorting him out of the building in Doncaster.
That's right.
So,
But that was the third title change of the night as well, and we're only 5 matches in by this point. We're only halfway through the card, so
it was a very busy night for title changes, and I think he lost at Hard Times 3, didn't he?
Now you're asking. That's making me think back almost like a year. I can't remember. That's terrible.
Yeah, I think he did lose at Hard Times. Excuse me, Hard Times 3. But he is now in the Champion. And now I wonder if Kerry will have a title rematch, or whether he goes on to adapt the things.
Who knows? Who knows? Anything's possible with Kerry, to be perfectly honest with you. And now that he's got the Southern Six, that he's back as well. They're a bit of a force to be reckoned with, I think.
Yes. We can't really talk much about the next match because it really didn't happen. The next match was supposed to be a no DQ match, Jack Stain and Tim Storm. The match was stopped 3 minutes in. Tim Storm suffered a really nasty injury during this match. You may know if you've watched it, the camera had to come away from the situation. You know Tim rather well. You've got a little update for us, nothing too major, but you've got a little one that you can provide, so go ahead. Tell us a bit
well, obviously, obviously we all saw watching the show, he and Joe, and that confirmed he was able to get up and walk out the ring. As far as I'm aware, he suffered a little nerve stinger, which basically caused a bit of temporary paralysis in the ring, which is why he was lying prone in the ring. But he got to his feet, he got help to the back. He obviously, as you'll see if you watch night 2, he was well enough to commentate for night 2, so he is on the comms desk for night 2, back at his seat with Velvet and Joe, and he went home and he's back to the day job, so he's doing okay from what I can gather. I think he's still a bit sore, a bit uncomfortable, but he's okay.
Good, and that's
he's
amazing.
Not at the tapings this week though, so he will not be on comms for the season of Power. He went back to school on Monday, so.
Back to school Monday, and Tim, we wish you really well. Obviously, scary situation. Just get rest up as much as you can, get better soon.
Yeah, absolutely. We're just glad you're okay.
Yeah, we're glad you're okay, and we hope you're back on that comms desk soon for more NWA. We miss you on commentary as well. So that was that match done pretty quickly, unfortunately, but that is what it is. This is wrestling. It's not ballet, as they say, and injuries do happen.
And some things are out of your control, unfortunately.
Indeed.
No matter how safe you are in the ring.
Exactly. You can be the safest person in the ring in the world, and you can still get hurt really badly, which is the case on this one. Now, Burke Invitational Gauntlet for the match to get you through to the women's world title shot on night 2. So if Kamille was successful on night 1, she would defend against the winner of this in night 2. Crazy match, really. It
was 12 entrants.
Yes.
12 entrants across the board. And number 1 was Kenzie Page.
And not only was number 1 Kenzie Page, she does what a lot of Royal Rumble winners do from number 1. She went on to win the match.
Oh, finally took out Alison Kay, who I was delighted to see back in the ring, because she's from the first season of Power, she was around when Power kind of started. So it was great to see Alison Kay back in there. But yeah, she got the win, and that is Kenzie, number 1 contender for the Women's World Championship, which is very exciting.
Yes.
So I think the loss to Max has more than been made up for. And to do double duty and go in at number 1 and win it speaks volumes for Kenzie's work rate, her ability, her skill, her endurance, her stamina. I was actually quite blown away by that, so I was delighted for her, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was interesting. I couldn't believe she came out number 1, let alone stayed on and to win it. But as you say, it justifies the type of person that she is. Yeah. And she goes on to night 2 to take on whoever the NWA Women's Champion is at that point, because that match will come out later on. Matt Cardona was next for our viewing pleasure. Having an open challenge, which was answered. We was all wondering who it would be, and he's facing whatever young talent wants to step in the ring, and out comes Ricky Morton, about 70 or 80 odd years old, to answer Matt Cardona's challenge tonight. And well, you kind of know what happens here. Matt wins. But, however, Matt Cardona hasn't finished in the NWA, and he hadn't finished on NWA 75. That set up the match for night 2 when he's talking young talent. And in night 2, it'll be Matt Cardona versus Kerry.
Yep.
Probably a bit more on, no disrespect to Ricky, but a bit more on Matt's level in terms of,
I am not going to lie. I love Ricky. I'm disappointed. I would have liked somebody completely new that we've not seen in the NWA before. I was like, okay, I was quite kind of like, who's it going to be? Who's it going to be? And as much as I love Ricky came out and I was kind of like, oh, is that it? Sorry, Ricky. But I was very much looking for, I think with a big pay-per-view like that, when they're hinting that there's going to be surprises and stuff, that you think there might actually be a big surprise. So
yes. Well, there was, unfortunately, and I was going to say, actually, we was just going back to Tim Storm. He was meant to join us last week, but that is my bad.
Yeah, unfortunately, because we missed the power review and we had an interview lined up with Tim Storm before NWA 75. Hopefully, when he's feeling a little bit better and up to it, and maybe up for chatting about things, that we can get him back on. I'll speak very nicely to him and see what we can work out.
Yeah, and that was my bad. Unfortunately, that was my heart telling me no. They say head and heart. Well, this was the heart, and it was saying no. Quite literally saying no. So, unfortunately, sorry guys, that was meant to happen. I was meant to mention it when we was talking Tim, but yes, that was my fault. Hopefully, we get Tim on at another time in the future. It'd be great to have him on. Anyway, World Tag Team Championship time. La Rebellion against Blunt Force Trauma. Now, another story is we were meant to have Aaron Stevens from Blunt Force Trauma. Now, we couldn't get the dates worked out in time for NWA 75, which was annoying after I saw when I saw the result, when I watched this match and the result happened, because Blunt Force Trauma ends La Rebellion's reign as tag team champions.
It's weird seeing the belts on someone else. Honestly, it really is.
Crazy time.
La Rebellion have held the belts for, I don't know. I can't remember. About a year. I think they're just short of a year.
Yes.
I think they're just under a year. I love La Rebellion. I've never hidden the fact that I love La Rebellion. They're a great tag team. I travelled down south in England to see them defend the NWA belts at TNT in Liverpool last year and things like that.
Yeah.
Against Kings of the North. So I love La Rebellion. I think Mecha Wolf and Bestia 666, they've got such a unique look to them with their face paints and their gear and everything, and the fact that they came out with Vampiro as well. I just love their whole vibe. But yeah, it just wasn't their night, unfortunately.
No, I mean, Aaron Stevens did do his utmost. He did pull the ref out of the ring, gave with his loaded glove, but Vampiro did super kick him, and that kind of led to the end of the match. Whereas obviously there was a spinning heel kick from Carnage, and Damage is in the prime position to pick up the win at that point, and that was a big change.
It's a huge change. And then you see at the end, though, who comes out? The brothers.
I was going to say the Funkadactyls in, but I'm getting really Tyrus. The brothers of Funk Structure. I'll get it right. Come out.
Yabo and Ruffle.
Yeah, and now they obviously were looking more for La Rebellion.
Yeah, so there's obviously still some beef there. But yeah, that set up another tag match for night 2, which is something else to look forward to.
Indeed. Now, we had the weigh-in at that point, obviously, with Tyrus and his 3-1 getting to that. Main event, my goodness me, what a main event. I mean, there's a no-limits match for the NWA Women's World Championship. Kamille and Natalia Markova. My goodness me, we were talking, and we've been talking so long about women's wrestling and not being showcased and blah, blah, blah. My God, people need to start watching NWA.
They need to watch the women's division in NWA. I have praised this for so long. Somebody had actually tweeted about it the other day, and I was like, thank you. Someone else recognises how phenomenal and how strong the women's NWA division is. It's unbelievable, and I am so happy that Kamille is finally, with 811 days of a reign by this point in time, before the match, she's getting recognition for what she's done and how many people she's put through, how many title defenses she's had, where she's had her title defenses. It's just so nice to see her finally getting the recognition that I really feel like she deserves.
Yeah, indeed, she certainly does. She's one of the most, I think, under, even though she's been champion for 811 days in the wrestling world, she's gone under the radar because people just don't know, I suppose.
And she's really not been around for that long. Like she
No.
was when she came out, when she joined NWA. Like, she's got a sporting background. I think it was maybe baseball or something that she played before. I can't remember. When she joined NWA, she was Nick's kind of insurance policy, and she didn't speak for a very, very long time. And then she got a little bit mouthy, and then she ended up getting involved with the whole Nick and Tim feud and shoving Tim about a little bit, and then she just kind of came into her own, really, and she's just blossomed, and she has rampaged through the women's division and held that belt for an incredible length of time.
She certainly has, and the end of this match was very, if you ever watched WrestleMania between Edge and Mick Foley, it was very reminiscent of that. There's no fire in the table. We're not going to go there. But there was a table, and there was a spear through the ring to the table. Kamille retains, and night one finishes with that. And I can't really think of anything better way to end night one with that sort of match.
Markova had a phenomenal match with her. An absolutely phenomenal match. I know that they've had several matches before in the run-up to this. I felt like Markova stepped up for that match. She came out. She's a beautiful girl with an absolutely incredible figure, and she's very talented. But she came out a little bit more subdued, ready for a fight. A little bit, her gear was much more kind of neutral and calm. And you're like, as soon as she walked out, I thought, she's ready for this fight, because she came out with the candlestick, and they were just ready to go. And they were all over the arena. All over the arena, inside, outside, on the stairs, on the stairs, on the stage, everywhere. But yeah, Kamille won again, one-time champ.
One-time champion, and wrapped up a very exciting, unpredictable night one, and set the standard for what we were going to get in night two, which we will crack on with straight away. Now, there was 3 pre-show matches in that, and I think the first match was the one where they had a really nasty fall. I think it might have been this one. It was clear.
The Memorial Battle Royal.
Oh, maybe not. Maybe it was another match then. Maybe I missed it.
So, yeah. So the first match on the pre-show was the Austin Idol Memorial Battle Royal,
which was won by Jordan Clearwater.
It was, but just of note, Zicky Dice is back.
Zicky Dice, from the man who was he left Impact Wrestling. He lost a match in Impact against one of his friends, his best friend in Impact, and it was whoever loses it gets fired.
Yeah,
from Impact, he's back in NWA.
I'm really excited to see him back, so that's cool. That's when I first came across him, was in NWA in the first season of Power, so that's exciting. So he's back. He
is back with a vengeance. Now, I did mention, you've already heard me there mention there was a bit of another accident in the ring. I can't recall the match. I think it was
further on in the main card.
Oh, was it further on night 2? Oh, then we will leave it at that then, and we'll get onto it in a minute. So Jordan Clearwater won. He's an NWA national heavyweight. Yeah,
that's exciting. So which he's have later on. So again, he's someone that's going to have double duty on the night.
Double duty.
Big step.
Indeed. Big step up there. Markova was back, defeating Taylor Rising by pinfall. I think just to keep.
I'm impressed she can wrestle that night after what she went through the night before. So
yeah,
play her completely. That's impressive.
Very, very impressive from Markova. She gets back on back into the mix, so we say, which is good for her. Now the third match was for the United States Tag Team Championship, as we already mentioned. Talos and Daisy Killed won the right to take on the Country Gentlemen, and not only did they win the right to take on the Country Gentlemen, they beat the Country Gentlemen.
That was a bit of a wow moment for me. I was not expecting that. I really wasn't.
I wasn't either. So they are now the NWA United States Tag Team Champions. What does that mean for Andrews and Cardona? We don't know. Do they get a rematch? We don't know. But that was the pre-show.
As the season of Power I guess as the season of power kind of unfolds, we'll find out.
We will indeed. Excuse me. First match on the show, Latimer and Adonis. Now, there was a lot of things about this.
Another championship match for the TV championship.
It was a championship match for the TV championship. It was a very good 10-minute match for the TV championship with Latimer winning, but that's not the end of the story. Latimer now he can invoke his Lucky 7 rule.
Lucky 7!
Now, for those who don't know what it is, if you win 7 matches, and you're a champion, you can drop that title and go for the main one. We've seen that with AC3. I believe he done the same thing. So Latimer could.
It's going to be interesting to see what Tom does with it.
What does he decide to do? Does he keep what he's got, or does he go into the match for the world title? I don't know. We'll find out. Fee, you have come off my screen at the minute. Your camera is off, so I will continue. Oh, you're back.
I'm back. Hi. I don't know what happened there. I'm so sorry.
User error. We'll put that down to modern technology these days, guys. There's a habit of doing this. So yeah, Latimer, we'll see. Obviously, as Fee says, the tapings are on, so we'll see what happens. Pretty Empowered next against M95, a tag team match for the NWA Women's Tag Champions. Yet another change.
I know. It's crazy that it's just been title change after title change after title change. None of the girls in this match are shy. They all just gave it their all and went for it. I really enjoyed it. Again, women's division so strong, women's tag division great. So it was a fabulous match.
It was. It really was. And I think really the whole of NWA 75 is wings of change. I think they should put that as a tagline, because we are seeing a lot of changes as we go into power. What does that mean for NWA? What does that mean for power? We'll find out. But Pretty Empowered, Ella Envy, Kylie Page are now the women's tag team champions. Congratulations to them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, I think this is the match maybe I was thinking of earlier. Kobe Carino, yeah. So Kobe Carino defended his World Junior Heavyweight Championship against Jack Cartwheel.
From AAA, yeah. So he's come up from AAA in Mexico, which was nice actually to see someone else come in for that. That was a great, started off really, really well, but like you said, there was just a small accident off the top rope with Jack.
Yes, he tried to do, I can't remember the move that he tried to do, but his feet, he was so close. I think Kobe was positioned quite close to the ring, the turnbuckle where he was jumping off of, and he caught his feet on the way down on the turnbuckle, basically face planted. So he seems okay. I think from all intents and purposes, he's fine.
He does, but yeah, Kobe got his head dead.
So Kobe goes and carries on and wins the match. Fee, you've now muted yourself. You're having great fun on this.
I'm doing really well today. I'm not on my normal computer. I'm on my son's computer.
Yeah, we do give Fee the benefit of the doubt. She's using her son's laptop today.
What I was going to say is that's Kobe's first title defence. So that's the first for him in his Lucky 7. So we'll see what happens with that. I love this Lucky 7 thing with the belts. Yes. So
it does throw a few little spanners in the works here or there, doesn't it?
Well and truly. But
the next one, Max the Impaler again. She was back defending her women's television championship against Ruth J. Again, I
was going to say again, Max. Max is a force to be reckoned with, and they quite literally, again, threw Ruthie J round that ring like Ruthie was a ragdoll. I don't know how anyone can get up from that, to be honest with you.
No, certainly not. And she certainly had her way with her. Let's just say that. She obviously, Max the Impaler obviously kept the win. Won the match, kept the title. But
just prior to that, a one-arm military press of Ruthie J. Like, honestly, it was. I was watching the TV and Max was just like standing there like this with Ruthie up over her head, and
scary fall. But she retains and she goes on to the power tapings. Now, the next match was, we were saying about the clowns. We were saying about Larabellion, and it looked like they hadn't finished, and they certainly hadn't finished. They were next on the show. Larabellion defeated the Brothers of Construction, so they finally got their event. Well, they're 2-1 down, but they finally got some comeuppance after those two defeats.
There was a little bit of shenanigans from Vampiro, and I was about to say Silent J, but it's not. It's Violent J. Wrong film, wrong show. And obviously, poor Violent J at the end winds up with a pie in his face. These things happen when you mess with clowns. Sometimes these things just clowns and pies go together.
You know, they say you don't work with children or animals, and you don't work with clowns either. And wrestling anyway, unless you want to get hired. In this case, the next match was Matt Cardona again. He was back, as we already mentioned, against Kerry Morton. A lot better this one, wasn't it?
Yeah, Kerry comes straight out. So Kerry's out first, takes the mic, and Kerry's just been all gallus, basically saying that he's going to be the face of NWA and he is the uncrowned champion. And I'm kind of sitting there going, at some point somebody went, I heard somebody, and I don't know if it was Joe actually, but I heard somebody go, yeah, but you lost your belt. So, yeah, Kerry was, I was about to say a phrase that we say up here, but I'm not going to say it. Kerry was just being a bit gallus, basically.
Gallus, no thingy to the Gallus in NXT.
No, nothing to do with them. Just a bit gallus. It's a Glasgow saying, a bit full of bravado and thinking he was all that.
Billy Big Bollocks, as what we would say in the UK.
I was about to say Billy Big Balls actually, but I was trying to be polite and didn't do it.
Doesn't work with me. I say, but yes, but Kerry Morton picks up
Billy
the
Big
win.
Balls. That's a Glasgow saying, but yeah, Kerry was trying to be Billy Big Balls.
He was, but he backed it up, and he got the win over the indie god, what you want to call him, Matt Cardona. He beat him. And we now need to find out what's next.
I think I've lost you again.
And Fiona is once again a statue on our stage. We need to sort of cut this out. I can hear her, but I can't see her. I'll carry on just so while Fiona. So Kerry Morton picks up the win and defeats the indie god, the demo. I don't know what you want to call him. Matt Cardona. He wins, and I think Fiona's back with us now. She's back in the room, I believe.
Oh, we're back.
You are back. Amazingly,
Sorry.
Statue has now moved. Right, Philbilly Silas Mason defeats Jordan Clearwater. He was the NWA National Heavyweight Champion. He still is.
I'm really sorry, but I can't really hear you right now.
I will carry on. Philbilly Silas Mason beats Clearwater for the NWA National Heavyweight Champion. He retains the title that he won on night one and moves on to the taping this week, which will be interesting to see. Now, the tag match that was match 11 on this very long 2-night extravaganza. Blunt Force Trauma were the NWA Tag Team Champions. They took on the Crockett Cup winners, Mike Knox and Trevor Murdoch. And they managed to get the job done and retain their titles in what was a really good tag team match. Not, as you know, people that know Knox and Murdoch will know they're not exactly the smallest people in the world. And it was a really good 4 big guys, really good enthralling tag match. And Blunt Force Trauma pick up the win on that. And they will carry forth the NWA World Tag Team Championships to the Power tapings. Now, Fee has returned.
Sorry.
So, now you've returned. We're on to Kamille and Kenzie Page for the Women's World Championship. And the championship reign of Kamille is now over. To her sigh, the things that she's working, it's just a sigh. Don't worry, everybody, she is with us still. Go ahead, Fee. The championship reign is over. Kamille's reign finished. And she's gone again. She was so upset that the reign had ended of Kamille's that she was once again turns into a statue for us. So she is just still very upset by this. Kenzie Page picks up the win. It was a really, really good singles match for the title. Really enjoyable. Kenzie Page, she's been a stalwart for the last the last 2 nights. She'd obviously had 2 matches on night 1. She won them both, and then she went to night 2. Fiona, you're back quickly. Kamille loses. Your thoughts?
Yeah, she does, man. I'm absolutely gutted, but she's been the most incredible champion. So good to see almost a new era, to be honest with you, and to have the pretty empowered girls come out at the very end of the match for Kenzie, and all three of them with the belts on the stage was actually pretty cool.
It was, and it really is a new era of NWA. We move into the final match. I'm going to be totally transparent with you. I fucking hated this match. I didn't like it one bit. Didn't like it at all.
No,
EC3 Tyrus bull rope match, and if Tyrus loses, he has to retire. It's for the heavyweight championship, £10 of gold. Oh my god, this match was bad.
Yeah, I think it's no secret that I was glad that when I saw the stipulation, and it's no secret that I'm glad that there's a new era of a champion in NWA. Love him or hate him, I know that Tyrus has carried that belt across TV and millions of people have seen it. But in 288 days of holding that belt, he has only defended it 4 times. You cannot have a world champion who only defends the belt 4 times in a reign that length. It's a joke. That belt is so prestigious. It's got such a history. The lineage is so incredible that I don't think it's been treated with the respect that it should have been treated with. And 4 title defences is a joke. I am full of hope for this new era of a new champion. Full of hope.
Indeed, and as you may have guessed, Tyrus lost the match to EC3 and subsequently has to not only drop the title to EC3 but has to retire from wrestling. Don't know if that's, if he's going to be on Power to do any sort of closing part of this. But EC3 is the champion, and it does really feel, it brought to a close 2 nights where you kind of said it the best. New era in the NWA will start.
Absolutely. Out of every single belt, and every belt was up for contention, the only person to walk in as champion and walk out with the same championship belt was Tom Latimer. Every other championship belt changed hands, and it's like a breath of fresh air. As much as I love La Rebellion, as much as I love Kamille, as much as I love watching the Southern Gentlemen, I am delighted to see a whole new kind of locker room of champions, a whole new bunch of leaders. It opens the doors up to so many possibilities, so many exciting new matches, new challenges. I think what I said, I am full of hope for this new season of Power, and I really, really hope that a new World Heavyweight Championship in EC3 maybe brings some people back to NWA, because let's be honest, a lot of people left because they didn't like Tyrus.
There you go.
So I am so hopeful that it draws some more people back to the product and it gets more eyes on the product, because that's only a good thing.
Yeah, me too. Totally agree with that. The only last bit of news coming out was Kamille's last appearance in NWA, by the sounds of it. Kamille is off. Where, though, Fee? Where is she going?
This is a shambles. I'm losing you again, Adam.
Oh,
I'm so sorry. I don't.
That's
if
fine.
You can hear me right now, but you've totally frozen, and I can't hear anything.
I have frozen, but I'm fine this side. Please frozen my side. What we'll do, guys, is we will leave it right there. That was the NWA 2-night review show. She was Fiona Loughran. I was your host, Adam Cousins, and we'll be back reviewing NWA, the new season of Power, probably this week at some point. But until then, everybody, buckle down, stay safe. Good night.